Today is Earth Day. A tradition started in 1970. It was before sky-high gas prices and even higher energy prices forced many of us to start really looking at how we live our lives. Neal Levin is expert with sustainable living, especially when it comes to large companies. That's what you've been making your living doing, Neal. Tell us about is it different now than it was in 1970 as far as how companies look at how they are making an impact on the world?
Absolutely, Sean. As you know, the first Earth Day occurred in 1970, which was basically the inception of the environmental movement. And there's been more activity in the last 18 months to 2 years in the environmental movement than there has been since its inception in 1970. So we're starting to see this going mainstream. We've certainly been given a reason to have a heightened awareness about it, thanks to Al Gore and many other people who have been spreading the message. So companies are now trying to find a way to embrace this movement and respond to it in kind.
You know, a number of years ago, I remember hearing that we would not move past where we were until energy prices became so exorbitant that we were forced into it, and that must be where we are right now, when companies are really feeling that.
I think that's true. I think they're feeling the pressure from the consumer. I think that we're showing amazing numbers of consumers that are coming out now and saying we want a difference. Not just with the oil prices, of course, which are at record highs as of today, but with the products, too. We're seeing more people pick a product up, turn it over, and ask, what's inside? What impact does this have on my family? Is this good for me? So I think it extends from the oil companies to all product manufacturers, energy suppliers, and so on.
And your job kind of is to show companies, large companies, how to market sustainability.
Well, actually, I had to design it first and then market it, because we see a lot of what we call greenwashing. That's people who haven't really made any difference whatsoever, but they want to take what they have and put it inside a green box with a green ribbon. That's greenwashing. That's just saying they're green when they're not. And I think consumers are onto that now. Consumers are starting to say, you know, I don't understand or believe your claims of being green or sustainable, and I don't see where you're really making a difference. So we help them design a way to be different as part of their very fabric, and then we help them market that to get the best traction out of it.
Well, a few weeks ago I was watching a show about green living, and there's actually startup companies now that are making deals with larger companies, putting in solar panels on the roof, and then over a course of time they get their money back on this. Are you seeing more and more of this, kind of taking alternative energies and making them actual money-making entities?
One of the most amazing realizations that I think many companies are having is that this makes sense. Installing solar panels makes sense, even though they might have been a little bit more expensive a few years back, and now the prices are coming down, so we're seeing more and more of them do it. Even when they were a little bit more expensive, you can get a return on these types of investments. A very famous example is Adobe. Who would think that a software manufacturer would be so committed to sustainability, but they took 1 million square feet of office space and they got a return on a massive investment in less than 1 year. So we're seeing companies now that are realizing this is good business, even if Al Gore isn't screaming about climate change. There's a reason to be doing this on a strictly business model.
All right, Neal, your company, SKAN, you can find more information at the SKAN Project, SKAN project.com. Neal, thank you very much for joining us.
Sean, thanks for having me.